Hey there, guys. Welcome, Tony Porter and Time Travel Baseball. This is a continuation of our league play, our league games. And it's a Keystone versus Chomsky's game. It's going to be Carl Hubble playing against Mike Norris. The cool thing about Time Travel Baseball is that you get to play all different types of players from all different eras, all against each other, and it kind of works out fine. For example, the Keystones start off with Bert Campaneris at shortstop, followed by Rod Carew at first base, Hank Aaron in right field, batting third, batting cleanup is Andre Dawson. Al Oliver in the fifth hole in left field, batting sixth is Frank Baker, the third baseman. Lou Whitaker, the second baseman, batting seventh, batting eighth is Elston Howard, the catcher, and batting ninth is Carl Hubble. For the Chomskys, it's going to be Big McBride leading off, followed by Nellie Fox, the second baseman. Oh, Carl Hubble's a lefty. Oh, so we got to make an adjustment to that lineup. I just noticed that. Should have known that. But we don't always know everything. So not really up on the older players. So I have to kind of learn them as I go. Carl Hubble. So what I do here in this case is I bring up all my righties and I bring down all my lefties. So I'm taking Keith Hernandez back down a little bit. I'm pulling up. I'm actually replacing my left fielder. I'm going to put in a new player. It's going to be Jimmy Pearsall in left field. So I'm platooning a couple of guys. Pearsall, let me write that in. It's going to be Jimmy Pearsall. He's in left field. So we're going to do that. This is Time Travel Baseball. It's very inexpensive to get into. And I just joined the league real quick just to keep me involved, and so I wouldn't just play a few games and just say, "Oh, okay, this is just one of the games I'm playing." So it's a good way to learn a game. Now, unfortunately, you're at a disadvantage when you go into a draft and you don't really know the cards. The second time it's happened to me, but it's I play baseball. I'm not going to always win, regardless of how much I know about the game. So I just kind of move forward on it. But it is a little bit frustrating when you suddenly realize as you learn the game, wow, I didn't know that. And at second base, we're going to bring in Julio Cruz. I play Julio Cruz at second base against lefties. So I am a platoon guy a little bit. It makes a difference in this game. Splits are there. It doesn't make a ginormous difference. It makes somewhat of a difference. But you do get some hits, and I just like to give these. Oh, I did that twice. All right, so we're going to have to. I already had Cruz in there, so let's change the name of Julio Cruz that I created for the second time. Let's make him somebody else. You know what? We'll make him the next pitcher, which is going to be Rick Langford. So we'll make him into Rick Langford. So he's going to be a pitcher, and that's it. So Rick Langford we already have created. Let's see, Rick Manning is going to be in center field, but we're moving him down to the 8th spot because he's a lefty. Keith Hernandez has moved down a little bit. Rick Burleson, we're going to put him in the second hole. And so it's going to be Pearsall, Burleson, Clemente, Tennis, Rudy, Hernandez, Manning, and then, of course, Norris. Oh, wait. Where is here Julio Cruz? We're going to bring him in and put him. Actually, we're going to lead him off. So we will allow Burleson to bat third. He's almost a 300 hitter, so it's not going to hurt us to have him there. And that's how quickly it is, quick and fast it is to just adjust your lineup in this game. So we're going to exit. And I don't know why I did that, but we're not going to exit. We're going to go back into the game. And it should be good now. So we should have all our righties in there. Yep, we do pretty much. And we're ready to play ball. So we're ready to play ball. I'm going to put this on the right so I don't have to put my paws in front of the camera constantly. We're going to get started. It's going to be Mike Norris. He's a tough pitcher. Athletics 1980 card. So in 1980, he was 22-9, I believe, with a 2.40 ERA. So that's going to be represented in this game. Let's get rid of the jazz a little bit, and now we're going to bring in the crowd. Let the crowd in through the gates, and we're going to do that. Let me get a little crowd into this game. And it's going to be Bert Campaneris, Rod Carew, and Hank Aaron leading off against Mike Norris. And the way you play this game is you roll 2d6. Very simple. And if the red one is higher, then it's going to be off the pitcher. If the white one or cream colored one is higher, then it's going to be off the batter. And there's a small chart. It's not a large chart. This is basically the whole thing. This is the whole game right here. So if you're looking, hey, Bears Den, how are you? Philip Brennell, how are you? If you're looking for a simple game to get started and to play with somebody, just to teach them a light-hearted, easy-to-play game. Now, it has a little bit more depth if you go into the more advanced. You also have a basic advanced and a super advanced, a master game. And just be aware of that. We have a nice crowd here at the Chomsky Dome. And we're right about to get started. So let's do it. So that's going to be a 3-4, but the 4 is higher, so that's going to be a 7 off Bert Campaneris, and that's a fly ball. Now, let me do that. All right. Let me try to have access to the scorebook, the electronic scorebook. So that is a fly out to Campy's a righty, so we're going to make that center field. All right. Rod Carew is up. And that is an 8 off of Carew, and that's ball 4. So right off the second batter gets a walk, and he's on at first. And Carew's got good speed. He's daring, so you got to keep an eye on that. He could advance. That could give him an advantage. Here's Hank Aaron, who hit a grand slam in yesterday's game. The first game of the 3-game set was won by the Keystones. It was Hank Aaron with I believe it was a top of the 9th grand salami that lets an 8-3 Keystone victory against Tom Terrific. That's going to be a 4 Norris. That's popped up behind the plate. Gene Tennis flips his mask away and makes the catch. So that's 2 outs. Next is Andre Dawson. Hell of a player. This is his 79 Expos card. 275 average. That's going to be a 3 off Dawson, and that's lined and caught by the third baseman, Rudy. I started the season with Rudy at catcher, but it was somebody who played against me taught me that, oh, yeah, look, you're not looking closely at the numbers. And even though I don't use those numbers, so it really totally didn't make a difference, but it could make a difference in when you pull gamble cards and so on. All right, so it's the bottom of the first inning. It's going to be Julio Cruz, Jimmy Pearsall, and Rick Burleson for the Chomskys. And that's a red, a higher, it's a 3 and a 1. The red is higher, so that's going to be a 4 off Hubble, and that is ball 4. So Hubble walks. Okay, I didn't change my players. Hold on a second. Let me add Cruz here. Cruz, I think, pinch hit, so he should be at the bottom. Hold on. These 2 guys are out. These 2 guys go down. Everybody else moves up. Burleson's there. Julio Cruz is leading off. We didn't have to look at his card, so we're still good. And here's going to be, so Cruz is on. He's got good speed, and it's going to be Jimmy Pearsall. There we go. Everything's set up. I like these cards, by the way. They're very easy to read. So this is a fun way to go. All right, so Cruz is on at first, and Pearsall. Now, you know what? Pearsall doesn't have a lot of strikeouts on his card. Basically, pretty much has 2 strikeouts on doubles, a double 2 and a double 4. Hubble has a 5 strikeout, but Cruz will get the stolen base. So we're going to try hit and run, and that's going to be a double 4s, and that's going to be potentially a strike. Doesn't matter what I roll or what I pull on the gamble card. It's a strikeout either way, but since Cruz is daring, he's going to steal second base on that strikeout. A little gamey there. Again, I created a rule to kind of minimize the stolen base on a hit and run, which I really don't totally agree with, and I'll show you what that is. So if you play this game, or if you want to play this game, it makes a lot of sense to me. So on a strikeout on a hit and run, daring runner steals second. Oh, no, run. If a daring runner is on second, he steals third. But and the lead runner is automatically caught. What I do is, like, if it's a daring guy with a lot of stolen bases, I don't make him automatically caught, but I pull the card. If it's a pitcher's card, he's out. If it's a batter card, he's safe. And it is a batter card, so he's going to be safe. So that's how I've changed a little bit, just to give these guys some chance on a hit and run. The reason I do the hit and run is primarily because of he's daring and he does steal bases. And I just want to see if I get advantage of it. Let's see, Rick Burleson now. And here's a pitch from Hubble. That's going to be an 8 off of Burleson. That's a ball that's chopped. And on this chopper, it's interesting because this chopper is usually a fielder's choice, but with a runner on second, the chopper becomes a lead runner out, which doesn't make sense because you don't throw lead runners out that often at second base. That happens more like an anomaly or a gamble. So I basically holes on infield. Okay. Oh no, I have holes on infield in. That's I added that to it. Draw top gamble card pitcher. So what I could do is on Rick Burleson's a righty batter, but again Julio Cruz thrown out at third base potentially here. So let's what we'll do is on this for now I'm going to make a Burleson. If it's a righty, you get a chance to throw the guy out at third. And if he's a lefty, he moves to third. So I'm going to add that into the rules. The rules are very minimal. So then on this chop rule, on a righty, chance at third. And on the lefty, advances. So just a little bit more depth to the game. And let's see if there's a fielder's choice at third base. And no, there isn't. So he's safe at third base on a ground ball to the shortstop, who decides to go to first with it. Actually, they have to throw to third, so that would make the guy at first safe. So that's not good either. So what we could do here is pull another card, and if it's a pitcher card, he decides to throw to first. If it's a batter card, then he decides to go for the fielder's choice. And it's a pitcher, so Campanera's going to go to first on that. There's a ground out, 6-3. He decides not to go for the runner at third base, and just goes to first for the out number 2. And here comes Bobby Clemente. That's right, Bobby Clemente's on this team. Pretty amazing player. One of my favorite players. I remember living in Puerto Rico when he passed away that winter, that Christmas or New Year's. I remember going out to one of the reefs, and not really a reef, the long set of it's more like a pier. That's what I want to say, pier. So I went out on this long pier, and I looked out into the ocean to see if I'd see him, floating around out there, if I'd see any debris. That was pretty funny. I think I was 9 years old at the time. So I was on a search, right? A search mission for Roberto Clemente's plane. All right, that's a 4-4, and that's going to be a strikeout, so it is a strikeout. The reason I don't pull a card is because the result is the same on both sides, so I don't have to pull a card on that. Usually, if it's a different result, then I would have to pull a card. A pitcher card would be off the pitcher's card, and a batter card would be off the batter card. Al Oliver, top of the second, no score. It's going to be a 6 on Oliver's card, and that's a slow ground ball to the right side. Julio Cruz charges it and throws him out. Frank Baker, another lefty. Here's a pitch from Mike Norris. Ooh, that's an 11 off Baker's card, and that's a drive. And in the gap, and that's going to drop in there. Clemente can't get it. Rick Manning picks it up and throws it into second base, with Baker's on a 1-out 2-bagger. Lou Whitaker is up with a runner on second base and only 1 out. Here's the pitch to Whitaker. That is a 3 off Norris, and that's ball 4. So Norris does have that walk at the 3, which hurts him. And he's not. He's a guy that has to get pulled once he gives up 5 runs. He's not a workhorse type. Here's Elston Howard. He's always a thorn in the side of the Chomskys. That's a 2. That's going to be a 7, but it's on Howard's card, and it's a high fly ball. Let's see if Frank is daring, because he may move up on that. I don't remember. I got to look. But if he's not daring, I'm not going to bother to look. He is daring, so I am going to look. It's a high flyout. High flyout is a runner's hold, careless. No. Okay. So runner's hold on that fly ball to left field. And here's Carl Hubble. Now, Carl Hubble is a dangerous batting card, so that means he's a little bit better than your average guy. That's double fours, strikeout, strikeout, and he goes down swinging for the third out. We go to the bottom of the second. Gene Tennis against Carl Hubble. That's a 9-off tennis, and that's a hard hit ground ball to the left side. Who's that? Let's see. Frank Baker up with it. Throws him out at first. Here's Rudy York. A lot of home runs off Rudy York. That's a 9 off York. It's ripped to shortstop. Campaneris throws him out. 2 down. And here's Keith Hernandez. Keith Hernandez, I have him batting 7th, just because he's a lefty versus lefty. And that's double threes. So we're gonna have to pull a card, and I'll show you, because 3 is a single on one card, and it's a single on both cards. That solves my problem there. I don't have to pull a card. So that is a single, a 2-out single for Keith Hernandez. And I'll tell you what, I can't even tell you the stats because the stats are being kept by the statistician. That is an 8 off of Manning, and that is a comebacker to Hubble. He goes to first, and that retires the side. 1-3. We go to top of the third, no score. Who are we going to see in the top of the third? Bert Campaneris, famous for his Oakland A's work. Then eventually went to the Texas Rangers, and then after that went to, I know he played for the New York Yankees, I believe, in his last year, which was, I think, 83. He's the guy who in the 70, I think it was the 72 World Series, threw the bat at the pitcher and then was ejected in I think it was the playoffs. That's pretty funny. Got mad. It was a ball that was high and inside, and Campaneris took the bat and flung it at the pitcher. And then there was a little bit of a scrum, and then eventually he was tossed and he was suspended from the rest of the playoffs. I'm not sure if he was also suspended from the World Series. I don't remember that. I have to look at that. But I think it was he just missed the playoffs. So he's leading it off here. He is 0 for 1 and a flyout. That's a 7 off Campaneris, and that's, again, popped up. Back goes Gross, and then comes Pearsall, and it's Pearsall in left field. Jimmy Pearsall usually sits versus righties, and he's out there today versus Carl Hubble, the lefty. And here's the pitch from Mike Norris, 1980 Mike Norris card. So you're using cards from all different eras. Like I have the 77 Twins Rod Carew card. I think in 77 he batted like 390, 388 actually. Holy smokes. And that's going to be an 8. That's going to be off Norris, and that's a swing and a miss, so he gets Carew. And that's 2 down, and here comes Hank Aaron. And that's a 7 off of Norris. It's going to require us to pull a card and read what it says. At the bottom, there's nobody on, so it's a high fly ball, unless my outfielder is careless. And they are not, because they're at home. So that is that's a fly ball to center field for Manning on the run near the track and hauls it in. So Hank Aaron, as usual, gives the ball a ride. And it's Mike Norris leading off the bottom of the third inning. No score here in Palookaville, Chomsky Dome, circa 2021 league play. That's a 42, and that's a 6. That's how you don't read it as a 42, but you read it as a 6 with the red die being higher. So we're going to look at off Norris, and that's a sharp ground ball up the middle, and Bert Campaneris gets there, spins, throws the first low, scooped out by Hernandez. So Hernandez saves, not Hernandez, Rod Carew. Wait a second. That was Norris. It's a 6. It's going to be a sharp ground out, and that is Bert Campaneris who throws him out. 6-3. Let's undo that. Hold on a second. Hold on. Let's undo the last play because I got a couple things going on here. When I created Langford, I put him in the game by accident, so it's really easy to fix. You just hit miscellaneous. You just go back to the starting lineup and pull Pull Langford, he's out. Okay, Julio Cruz is up. Bottom of the third. One out. No score. Keystones versus Chomsky. All right, it's a 7, but the white is higher, so we read it off the batter card, and that's a high fly center field. Medium depth, and Dawson is there. Dawson is a very adept center fielder. Jimmy Piersall is next. That's a 7, but this is off the pitcher, and that requires us to pull a gamble card, and we'll read what it says. With nobody on base, it's high fly out. Unless the left fielder's a 0. Oliver, I don't think he's a 0, but we'll check. I doubt Oliver's a 0 outfielder. Nah, he's a 2. Yeah, I didn't think so. That's usually for a guy that doesn't play much outfield at all. So, can of corn for Oliver. And that's it. That retires the side. So we go to top of the fourth. Andre Dawson leading off against Mike Norris. No score. Both teams have a hit. And here's we're going to 7 again off the pitcher cards. We pull a gamble card. There's nobody on base. It's a short single. If he's fast or daring, batter takes second as third baseman hurried through in the dirt, bounces away from first baseman E5. So he is daring. So he is going to make it to, it's going to be an error. So it's going to be a single and an error. And Rudy York picks up an E, and it's going to send the speedy Dawson to second base on an error 5. So that's pretty easy to do with iScore, and you can download now for $9.99. You can download Retro Sheet. It's very easy to do. If you need instructions, you want me to do a tutorial on it. It's very easy to do. A little bit tricky. You got to have the code. You got to go to your admin page and get the code, your login and password for iScore, and you write that down because you're going to have to input that code when you're given the code, and you pay the $9.99 for Retro Sheet. It goes. You can basically upload any roster from 1950 to the present using Retro Sheet. So Al Oliver with a runner on second base and nobody out. Here's a pitch from Norris, and that is going to be a 9 off Norris. That's usually a pop-up. It's going to be to the left side, and it's the third baseman, York. Holding at second is Oliver. Here's Frank Baker, another lefty. The pitch. That's a 7, but that's going to be off Baker. That's lined to the outfield. I don't think there's any special result on that line out. I know the infield line out has the possibility of a double play, but line out to the out. Oh, daring runner on third scores, but he's at second. So it's going to be a line out to the right fielder. Clemente, his arm is respected by Dawson. And here's Elston Howard. Oh, no, it's Lou Whitaker's up. Lou Whitaker's up. Okay, with 2 outs. Here's a pitch from Norris. You can get out of trouble, and it looks like he will. That's a swing and a miss. And Whitaker goes down swinging on strikes. And so Norris reaches back for a little extra and gets out of trouble. We go to the bottom of the fourth. Still no score here in Chomsky land. Keystones at Chomsky's league. My team is the Chomskys, of course. You're going to have Rick Burleson, third hole, Roberto Clemente, cleanup hitter, and Gene Tennis. That's who you're going to see. So I got I got Rick Burleson's 1979 Red Sox card. He batted .278. He's a good fielding shortstop. That's why I picked him. But he also has a decent batting average. I mean, .280, not bad. That's going to be an 8 off of Burleson. That's chopped to the third baseman, and he comes in hard, bare hands. It fires the first high throw, but nice play by the first baseman, Rod Carew. Here's Bobby Clemente now. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Those double threes, that's a potential double or a single. That's why now we have to pull a card. And the way you do this, so 3-3 is a double or a single off the pitcher, a double off the batter. So you're going to have to pull. Oh, and actually we have an exclamation, which is a little symbol there. You got to look at the symbols. Every so often you get a symbol, and that is called a wrap symbol. Pick a gamble card. If it's a batter image, it's a home run. If it's a pitcher image, it's a double, a result on the card, whether it's be a pitcher or the. So this is interesting, but we don't know that it's on the batter card yet. So let's see what happens. And If it's on the picture card, it's only going to be a single. So we're going to pull a gamble card, and what it has to do with the image. What image is going to come up, and the image is a batter card. So that's a deep drive off the bat of Clemente, way back. Oliver looks up, and that's out of here. Bobby Clemente puts the Chomskys up 1-0 with a home run, a solo shot here in the bottom of the fourth. It looked like it was going to stay in the park, but because of that exclamation mark and the fact that we pulled the batter card, that makes it a home run. It carries, so the wind must be blowing out in left center field. Al Oliver just watched it, thought he had a chance, went up against he put his back up against the fence out there, but to no avail. It's a home run. It's 1-0 Chomsky's, and 1 out. Gene Tennis, another power hitter. This is where most of the power is for the Chomskys in this part of the lineup. That's an 11 off of Tennis. Had it been off of Rudy York, it would have been out of here. But an 11 off of Gene Tennis is a base on balls. I really like Tennis, and I'm happy I picked him. I picked him from the scrub pile after I needed a catcher who really could hit a little bit, and I picked Tennis. He was still available, and I was lucky enough to get him. So he's done a decent job. Rudy York is up. So Tennis is on at first, and we got another 11. That's a home run. And we're not going to get an 11. We're going to get a 9. That's popped up. That's going to be on the right side, and Carew in foul ground makes the catch. That is 2 down. And up comes Keith Hernandez. Time travel baseball. That is a 10, so that's usually a strikeout, and it is. Goes down looking, and that retires the side. We go to the top of the fifth. The Chomskys are up 1-0. Mike Norris against Elston Howard. It's a 7. We're going to require us to pull a card and look at nobody on base. It's a triple, rattles into the corner. If he's an ace pitcher, it's a foul ball. Unfortunately, Mike Norris is not an ace pitcher. So that is going to be a ball that's pulled down the line into left field corner and bounds away from Pearsall. Pearsall, after it picked up by Manning, who comes over from center field. And around second is Howard. Chugging around second is Howard. Slides into third. The tag is late. And that is a triple for Elston Howard. Something you don't see every day. But unfortunately, we don't have ace pitchers because I didn't know how important that was, so I didn't pick any. But I will make sure in the future, if I'm part of this league, they don't kick me out to the curb. I will tell other newer members that come in that, hey, you need to pick ace pitchers. Don't be a dummy like I was. And I will impart whatever knowledge I picked up to those new players so they have a fighting chance of competing. Carl Hubble is up. He's a dangerous batter with a runner on third base. We're going to play the infield in here in the 5th inning. Usually do start doing that in the 5th inning. It's a 7. It's a high fly out. Let's see what that high fly out, see what that becomes. High fly out is going to be runner holes unless he's daring, and Elston Howard is not daring. That's a fly ball to left field over his Pearsall, shallow left field. So Howard is going to hold, and here comes the leadoff hitter, Campaneris and Carew. Can Norris get by these two batters to prevent this runner on third? We're going to bring the infield in again to see what happens. Here's a pitch to Bert Campaneris. That's an 8 off Campaneris. That's a chop ground ball. And a chop ground ball. Let's see what the rules say on this. Holes on infield in H rule. Hold rule. Okay, so basically I decided that on this type of hit, it's a medium ground ball. And what we could do is make it, if it's a lefty batter, we could make that he advances because he hits it to the right side. And if it's a righty batter, he holds. We could do that sort of thing. Or we could also add that if he's daring, else he scores. So we'll add all those factors to this. So daring, scores. And if it's righty, holds, lefty, advances. We could do that sort of thing, or we could make lefty advances on a card pull. So just adding a little flavor, personal flavor, that's all, just to mix it up. It doesn't really come into play anymore. It doesn't damage the game. Maybe it'll happen once in a blue moon. So in this case, he's a righty. Let's see what we got here. He's not daring, so he doesn't score automatically. He's a righty, so he's going to hold there. So that's 2 outs now, 6-3. And Rod Carew. And that's going to be a 5. Carew should be a single, base hit, run scores, game tied, just like that. Hank Aaron's up. Here's a pitch for Norris. That's, double threes, always trouble. So we're going to pull a card because it's a high fly off Norris, and it's going to be off the pitcher. So it's a high fly, deep center field. Back goes Manning to the track, and Manning is there, hauls it in. So again, Aaron gives it a ride to deep center field. We go to the bottom of the 5th, tied at 1. Carl Hubble on the mound. Did we make him a lefty? That's my question. I don't know. I don't remember. I did not make him a lefty. We'll make him a lefty there. Rick Manning, he's up. And that's going to be an 8. That's off Manning, and that is chopped. So first, Carew steps on the bag, 1 away. Here is Mike Norris, and that is a 9 off Norris. It's a hard ground ball to the left side. Third baseman, Frank Baker, throws him out, 2 down. And Cruz was a 3 off Cruz, and that is a base hit single. So Cruz legs out an infield hit. He has good speed, so Hubble is going to throw over. Here's the pitch. It's high, and there goes Cruz to throw down from Elston Howard, and he is safe with a stolen base. So Cruz, good speed and taking advantage. So it puts a runner on second base now with 2 outs, and here's Jimmy Pearsall. And that is going to be a 9 off of Hubble, and that's popped up. Left side, first baseman. Who is that? Rod Carew makes the catch to retire the side. We go to the top of the 6th, 1-1. Who are we going to see in the top of the 6th? Andre Dawson, Al Oliver, and Frank Baker. Playing time travel baseball. Cards and dice with Tony Porter. Saturday morning. Tabletop dice. All right, that's going to be a 7. So that's going to force us to pull a card with nobody on. It's going to be a ball that's driven into right center field. Clemente's on the run, and Clemente, he's an ace, so he makes the catch because there's no runners on. So Clemente with an amazing catch in right field. Looked like he was going to fall in there for a double, but he gets to the ball. 1 out. Andre Dawson took that pitch to the opposite field, showing off his hitting skills. That's going to be a 7 again. We're going to have to pull a card. This time it's Al Oliver, the lefty. Al Oliver, it's a star shortstop. Makes a backhanded play. Burleson, great play. Throws the first, and he gets them at first. So 2 defensive web gems by the Chomskys. 2 outs. Back-to-back web gems. And Frank Baker now with 2 outs. Baker's 1 for 2 with a double. That's going to be a 5 off Baker, and that is a ground ball and through for a base hit into center field. Played by Rick Manning. Manning gets it into Julio Cruz. And Baker has good speed. Whitaker takes a pitch. There goes Frank Baker. Throw down from tennis. Not in time. Stolen base. And we want 285 for Whitaker and Elston Howard 279. So we're going to pitch to Whitaker, although we would have the righty advantage with Howard. So we're going to walk Whitaker. They're about the same, but we do get the righty advantage against Howard. Here's the pitch. That is a 10 off of Norris, and that's a strikeout to retire the side. No runs. Did we get a hit in that? I believe, we had a hit. No runs, a hit, 1 left. And we go to the bottom of the 6th, 1-1. It's a hell of a ball game here in Chomsky land. Using time travel baseball. This is a league game, so this goes into the standings, whatever happens. I don't know what my record is. I really don't want to know, and I don't think anybody wants to tell me, so you don't have to hear me. Rick Burleson, So it's going to be Burleson, Clemente, and Tennis. Basically the heart of the order right here. All my righties against Carl Hubble, the lefty. Here's a pitch. Oh, that's snake eyes. It's either a double off Burleson or a double. It's going to be a double either way. So that's a drive in the gap. That's going to roll to the wall. Oliver, after it, picks it up, throws it into Campaneris. But we got a lead-off double, so the Chomskys are threatening here, and it's going to be Bobby Clemente. We're not gonna. I don't know. Carl Hubble. Don't know if we want to walk Clemente here, simply because bottom of the sixth. Yeah, I don't know if we want to put any extra men on base. There's still time to score a run. We have a good offense on the Keystones, so we're not going to walk Clemente. If it was a little bit later, I would, just to set up the potential double play, but I'm not going to do it here. Here's a pitch, and that is a 9, so lucky we didn't. It's going to be off Clemente. It's a hard hit ground ball. And on a hard grounder, what does that make it? A hard grounder says runners advance 1 base. So Clemente with a ball in the hole, and going to third is Burleson. That's 1 out. Now we're going to have to bring the infield in. So the infield's in, and here's Gene Tennis. Carl Hubble for Tennis. Here's a pitch, and that is a 5 off of Hubble. That's a strikeout. Big K for Hubble, who throws that trick pitch and gets Tennis swinging. And up comes Rudy York. Rudy York, a power hitter. After Rudy York is Keith Hernandez. So Keith Hernandez bats way better. He bats 344. Rudy York is 307. So we're going to face Rudy York, but he has good power, and that is a 10, but off. Oh, actually, that's double 5, so we have to pull a card. It's a pop fly double off of York. It's a pick an error card off of Hubble. So either way, it's going to be interesting, and it's going to be a ball that's driven in the gap, and that's going to drop in there. 1 bounce off the wall, played by Andre Dawson, who gets it into Campaneris. But Rudy York is in there with a 2-out double, RBI double, and the Chomskys have taken a 2-1 lead here, thanks to Rudy York. Here's Keith Hernandez, 2-1, Chomskys. That is a 6 off Hubble, and that is a sharp ground ball to the second baseman Whitaker over to first, and that retires the side. 2-1. 2-1 Chomskys. Here is Carl Hubble leading it off against Mike Norris. Oh, 6-6. See what that becomes. 6-6 is going to be a double either way, so we're not going to pull a card. It's going to be a ball that's pulled down the line into the right field corner. Clemente, the throw to second, and tag, not in time, so Carl Hubble in there with a leadoff double. So now the Keystones come right back, and Bert Campaneris, he's going to swing away rather than bunt. Those are the orders from the managers, so we're going to let him swing away here. His pitch, and that is a 3. Norris walks him. First and second. Now Carew is going to swing away with a 388 average. You don't have to, that's not even a question. Here's a pitch from Norris. That's going to be a 9 off Norris. That's popped up in the infield. Rudy York on the left side. But no, out of nowhere comes Burleson and makes the catch in foul ground. Both runners hold, and here comes Hank Aaron. Hank Aaron, probably the most dangerous hitter. 355 average. Hit a ton of home runs. Probably, this is a 1959 card. I don't have the stats, this 59 stats, but he is a power hitter extraordinaire. Runners on first and second. Hank Aaron is up. There's 1 out here in the top of the 7th inning. Chomskys are up 2-1. Chomskys don't win very many games. I usually go with my starter until he, really just screws it up, because there's no guarantee that any reliever is really going to do much better. I mean, Norris had a 2.50 ERA, so I don't know if it's just I try to minimize my substitutions. I just don't, if I can get away with it, I'll try to minimize them. When I can, I can. Here's the pitch to Hank Aaron. And that is a 9. That's popped up in the infield. Oh, what a pitch that was by Mike Norris. Gets Hank Aaron to pop it up to the right side. Julio Cruz in foul ground makes the catch Turns around and runs it back into the infield. So that is 2 outs. The Chomskys are 1 out away from getting out of a tough inning here, a risky business inning with runners on first and second. Andre Dawson steps into the box, and he's set against Mike Norris. Mike Norris checks the sign with Gene Tennis. He sets and deals. And that is a hard hit ground ball, and Burleson up with it. He's going to go to second for the force, and that retires the side. What a effort by the Mike Norris, pitcher for the Chomskys, to get out of a tough inning. Wow, you had first and second, nobody out with Carew, Hank Aaron, and Andre Dawson coming up. He was able to get out of it. Go to the bottom of the 7th. It's going to be Rick Manning, Mike Norris, and Julio Cruz. We are in the bottom of the 7th inning. It is 2-1 Chomskys. Carl Hubble on the mound. And that's a 6. That's going to be off of Manning because the 5 is higher. That's a slow ground ball. To the right side, it's going to be Carew. It's going to flip to the pitcher covering. Mike Norris is up. We're not pinch hitting, and it's going to be off of the pitcher card, a chopper to the left side. Frank Baker. Throw to first in time, 2 down. And here's Julio Cruz. Cruz 1 for 2 with a single and a stolen base, and he will get on again. Base hit for Julio Cruz. Little seeing eye ground ball through the left side into left field. Played by Oliver, and Cruz always a threat to steal. The exact duplicate of what he did in the last inning. Pearsall takes a pitch. There goes Cruz. The throw down from Howard, the tag, and he is safe. So Cruz steals a base. With 2 outs, that puts a runner in scoring position. Jimmy Pearsall, again, an opportunity to give us an insurance run. Give the Chomskys an insurance run with 2 outs, bottom of the 7th. Julio Cruz with great speed at second base. Here's a pitch from Hubble. And that is a 22. A 2-2 is a strikeout or an infield line out, so it's going to be a strikeout, and that retires the side. We just chose one. Doesn't matter. Good pitch by Carl Hubble to get out of that inning. Top of the 8th. It's going to be Al Oliver, Frank Baker, and Lou Whitaker. 2-1 Chomskys. The Keystones are up. See if they can come back here. Down by a run. They got 6 outs remaining. The line scores, the Keystones with 1 run, 6 hits, no errors, 9 left on base. The Chomskys 2 runs, 6 hits, 1 error, 6 left on base. Mike Norris winds and deals, and that is a 9er that's popped up. Left side, Rudy York. Got a lot of 9s in this game. And Frank Baker next, and that's the 7 off Baker. That's a line drive. Right center field, and Manning catches up to it. 2 down. And here's Lou Whitaker. Sweet Lou Whitaker's 0 for 1, walk, strikeout, and was intentionally walked. And that's an 11 off of Whitaker's card, and that is ball 4. So Whitaker, again, showing his good eye and his patience, makes it to first base, 2 outs, runner on first. Elston Howard has good power, has decent power. I don't know if good power, but decent power. He can hit 1 out. Norris checks the sign, sets and deals. And that's going to be a 7. We're going to pull a gamble card with the runner on first. And what is that going to be? Chop grounder back to the pitcher. Faster, daring batter is safe at second as pitcher hurries through and pulls the fielder off the bag for an error. All right, so chop ground out to the pitcher. Faster, daring man on first is safe at second. This would be a fielder's choice. And since he isn't faster, daring, he's going to be out at second. So it's a fielder's choice. Back to the pitcher. He goes to Rick Burleson. Throw is offline, pulls Burleson off the bag, but Burleson has the... Oh, wait, Whitaker's on it first. Hold on a second, cowboy. And he is fast, so Whitaker's safe, and that's going to be an error. Look at that. Caught that. That's going to be an error on the pitcher, Mike Norris. Puts runners on first and second now. So pulled Burleson off the bag, and since it was Whitaker running, he is safe. All right, first and second. Here's Carl Hubble. Now this becomes a situation where do you pinch hit? Probably you pinch hit for him here. So you do pinch hit for him here because, and I have a good pinch hitter. I have a real good pinch hitter here for this Keystone team. It's going to be Manny Sanguillen, and it's probably one of Manny's better years, hopefully. Let's see, Manny Sanguillen, he batted .328, and he's coming into bat with the tying run at second base, and we're going to replace Hubble, and we're going to bring in Hoyt Wilhelm. He's the top of the line for the Keystones. I got in trouble last time because I pulled the wrong pitcher. I was looking, didn't really understand how the instructions were set up, and I made a mistake. So anyway, it's going to be Hoyt Wilhelm will be pitching. And here it is, Mike Norris versus Manny Sanguillen, a .328 hitter. This is his 75 Pirates card, Manny Sanguillen against Carl Hubble. Against Manny Sanguillen, Carl Hubble is removed from the game for Sanguillen, who comes in. And 2 outs. Tying run is at second base, and the speedy Lou Whitaker. And here's the pitch to Manny Sanguillen. That is a 4 off Sanguillen, and that is going to be ball 4. That loads the bases. Bases loaded now. So, Bert Campaneris against Mike Norris. Bases loaded. Do we pull Mike Norris? That's the question. With the bases loaded and 2 outs. I would bring in my closer, Joe Beggs. Got to walk there. Mike Norris walk at the same spot. Actually, you know what? I'm going to bring in Joe Beggs. Joe Beggs is 42 Reds card. So there's going to be a pitching change here. So Tony Porter goes out to the mound and calls for the right-handed Joe Beggs out of the bullpen with the bases loaded, and Bert Campaneris at the plate. So go ahead and run here in the top of the 8th at second base. And we could put in a pinch runner, a speedy pinch runner, and then bring in the backup catcher at second base in case there's a hit. Let's see if we have somebody like that. And then we bring in, I think, we have Don Baylor, who's speedy. We have Chris Spire, who's speedy. We don't have anybody who's daring. We needed somebody who's daring. And we don't have, where's our backup catcher? I thought we had who is our backup catcher? I thought we had Joe Garagiola or somebody like that as his backup catcher. Gotta look for the backup catcher. I don't know where he is. But I don't know, fast is not going to do it. Let me see. Hold on a second. On a single, both runners score automatically. On a short single, with 2 outs, only a daring runner would score from second. I don't have any daring runners here. If I did, I would pull one. I don't have any daring runners, unfortunately. So anyway, we're going to leave it as it is. And here's the pitch from Joe Beggs with the bases loaded, top of the 8th, 2-1 Chomsky. The Keystones are up here trying to tie the ball game. Pitch to Bert Campaneris. Bert Campaneris 0 for 3 is flied out twice and ground out and walked. And that is a 7. We're going to have to pull a card with the bases loaded. So that's a runner on third. And a runner on third stays too far down the line. And he's picked off. Oh my goodness. Mike Norris throws over to third. York surprises Whitaker, the tag, and he is out. What? No way. Runner on third stays too far down the line and is picked off. Wow, that surprised everybody here at the Chomsky Dome. But great play by Norris. High five from Rudy York. They totally caught Lou Whitaker at third base napping. And I guess it's a pickoff, so let's do the pitcher. No, we want to go to the runner at third base. That's the third baseman. There it is. And he's out, picked off, 1-5. And that retires the side. That was exciting. That was totally unexpected. All right, new pitcher. It's going to be, who we say, Hoyt Wilhelm. I believe, let me double check to make sure so I don't get my butt kicked. Let me look and make sure that's the guy I should be using. And it is. Hoyt Wilhelm is at the top of the priority list. Sparky Lyle is only the closer. And oh, Manny Sanguine is the catcher. That was a brain fart. That's right. Sanguine is the catcher, not Cavraggiola. Backup catcher Sanguine. But I didn't have any daring pinch runners. So anyway, all right. So it's going to be Hoyt Wilhelm. I have to write him in. I don't have him here. This is the second game of a 3-game set. The Keystones won the first game. Very easy to write in a new player, Wilhelm and Hoyt. And he is a right-hander. And he's going to face Rick Burleson. Here's a pitch. That is going to be a 6 off of Wilhelm. It's a slow ground ball to the left side, and it's Campaneris who charges in and throws him out. 1 down. Bottom of the 8th, 2-1 Chomsky's. That is a 6 off Clemente, and that's a slow grounder. Again to Campaneris, charges and throws out Clemente. And here's Tennis, Gene Tennis with 2 outs. Pitch from Hoyt. That is a 9 off Tennis, and that is ripped to third, backhanded by Baker. Tosses it to first in time. 3 up, 3 down. Easy inning for Hoyt Wilhelm. They used his 64 White Sox card. And it's going to be Bert Campaneris leading it off. He was at the plate when Sweet Lou Whitaker was picked off third base. Let me go. Oh, man. You know what? I'll do this later, but it was with the bases loaded, so it was the last. I know what to do. Wait, hold on a second. So I forgot to put in my pitcher, Joe Beggs. I used his card, but I forgot to write him in. So it's really easy to do. You exit out. You exit out. You go to edit game on the next screen. You go to the 8th inning, and you go to where Campaneris was at the plate, and that's where I'm going to hit on Norris, and I'm going to click on edit substitutions for the home team. And I know you're not totally seeing this, but you kind of, and then I'm going to bring in Beggs. I never wrote Beggs in. I just grabbed this card. I was excited. I was talking. And so I'm going to just write in Beggs real quick. Joe Beggs. And I'm going to click on Beggs. Does he become offensive sub? Yes. And he's in there. So there, I already corrected that mistake where I used the right card. I just never wrote in the guy. I got caught up in the moment with the bases loaded and so on. And so Joe Beggs should be in there now. Let me go back because I don't see him in there for some reason. I don't know why. Sometimes it takes a second to kick in. It doesn't always kick in immediately. But let's see. Okay. Wait. You go to the 8th inning. Joe Beggs comes in against Bert Campaneris. Okay, so he should be in there. For whatever reason, so I'll just make sure he's in on both sides. And then that'll solve my problem. All right, well, he's in there. So Joe Beggs versus Bert Campaneris, top of the 9th. Let's see, 2-1 Chomsky. So the Chomskys are 3 outs away from a victory. They're hard to come by. That is a 6. That's going to be off Campaneris, and that's a slow ground ball to the left side. And Rudy York is going to throw him out. And we're going to make a defensive change here. We forgot to do that. Rudy York is out, and we're going to bring in Ray Knight. Ray Knight at third base. He's in there at third. So Knight is out. And do we have to make any other changes? Nope, we're good. All right, so there's 1 out, and it's Rod Carew, 388 hitter with 1 out here in the top of the 9th inning. The Chomskys are 2 outs away from victory, but let's not count our. All right, it's double fives. It's going to be either a walk and a stolen base or a short single. So either way, it's not going to be good for the Chomskys, and it's a batter. So it is ball 4. And again, Carew with many stolen bases in 77. He had a bunch. And Joe Beggs throws over a couple of times to keep him close. Here's a pitch to Hank Aaron, who's at the plate. Ouch. So Joe Beggs is going to have to pitch to Aaron. And here's the pitch. It's high and outside. Carew on the run. And there goes the throw from Tennis. The tag, not in time. So Carew with a stolen base. And Hank Aaron now, and we are going to not walk Hank Aaron because that would put the go-ahead run on base. So we're going to face Hank Aaron. It's Joe Beggs versus Hank Aaron. Tying run at second base, 1 out. And that is a 5, but unfortunately, it's going to be off the batter because the 3 is higher than the 2. So it's going to be off the batter, and when we look, it's going to be a base hit single, and this may score the speedy Carew to tie the ball game. Man moves to second, other runners score. If a runner on first moves to second, but the runner on second will score. The game is tied. Hank Aaron again, a thorn in the side of the Chomskys. And we considered walking them, but you know what? We decided against it. Maybe we should have. But that is Monday morning quarterbacking. And here's Andre Dawson, pitch from Beggs. So Beggs has blown a save. That's a 5, but this time it's from Beggs, and that's a deep fly ball left center field. Back goes Pearsall to the track and makes the catch. And back to first goes Dawson. 2 outs. Game is tied at 2, unfortunately, for the Chomskys. Al Oliver, left-handed hitter. Here's a pitch from Beggs. That is a 5, but this time it's from Beggs, and this is lifted to right field. Back goes Clemente to the warning track, and he hauls it in. But Beggs blows the save. It's tied at 2. Bottom of the 9th. So we're gonna get a new third baseman. He came in to play third for Rudy York, and it's going to be Ray Knight's going to get an at bat here. So Ray Knight is in there. And here's a pitch from Hoyt Wilhelm. That is a 4 off Knight, and that is ball 4. So Ray Knight contributes with a base on balls. Keith Hernandez is next. And not going to do a hit and run just because, you know what, there's a lot of strikeouts on the pitcher card. There's 1, 2, 3 strikeouts, 4 strikeouts on the pitcher card, and 1, 2, way too many strikeouts to do a hit and run. So we're just going to hit away. I like to do hit and runs in this situation. It's going to be a 3, but this is off Keith Hernandez, and that's a strikeout. So lucky we didn't do a hit and run because then he would have probably been in big trouble. And that's 1 away. Rick Manning is next. And that is a 5. This is going to be off Wilhelm. That's a sharp ground ball. That's going to be a double play. That's going to have been a Whittaker to Campaneris to Carew. Double play on a sharply hit ground ball. And it's a 4-6-3. That retires the side. We go to top of the 10th inning. All tied at 2. Frank Baker leading it off against Joe Beggs. This is a 6 off Baker, and that is a slow ground ball to the right side. Julio Cruz charges it, barehands it, throws to first, and he gets him. Baker doesn't think so. Lou Whitaker's next. He swings, and that's a 7 off. That's lifted to high center field, and Rick Manning comes over, settles under at 2 down. And here's Elston Howard, pitch from Beggs. Beggs winds and deals, big old-time wind. 6, that's off Beggs, and that is a sharp ground ball hit to the left side. Rick Burleson fires to first. 3 up, 3 down. Go to the bottom of the 10th. We're looking for a walk-off game winner here against Hoyt Wilhelm. Pitcher leading it off, Joe Beggs, and we'll pull him for pinch hitter. 2-2, bottom of the 10th inning. Time travel baseball. It's got a lot to it. It is a little deceptive. So we got Moose, 291 is usually a guy I bat, and he's got a little power as well, a little pop in his bat. So Moose Salters, 1936 Browns. Moose Salter, so Joe Beggs is out. We'll probably see Terry Foster coming in. Moose Salters. This game is going, this is a long game here. Holy smokes. So Moose is coming in to lead off the inning here in the bottom of the 10th inning. This game has gone an hour. All right, here's a pitch from Hoyt Wilhelm. That's a 7. That's a pull a card. And with nobody on, we're going to be a rollout to the first baseman. A 0 first baseman stumbles, and the ball bounds into the right field corner for a double. But I highly doubt that Rod Carew is 0. I mean, he became a decent first baseman. Yeah, he's a 2. Not a star first baseman, but he makes the play. Tough hop, but he makes the play. Gets the out. 1 down. And here's Julio Cruz. Got a couple of hits today. That's a 7. That's another pull. That's a 7. Is a take a gamble with nobody out. Ball rolls up the arm of the shortstop. Batter safe. Unless the shortstop is a 3. And I believe Bert Campanera should be a 3. And he's a 2. Whoa, what? Ball rolls up the shortstop. Batter safe on an error. Wow. So Cruz is on at first. And Cruz today has 3 stolen bases, by the way. Just realize that. It's going to be an error on the shortstop. And he's daring, but we're not going to risk all that because there's just we don't want to. Again, there's not a lot of strikeouts on this card. There's 1, 2 there, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4 all on the pitcher card. So we're not going to do a hit and run. Jimmy Pearsall with 1 out and Julio Cruz on at first base. That is going to be double 5s. That's either a double or a wild pitch. This double with a daring runner may be the ball game. Wild pitch would put him on second base. So either way, it's an advantage for the Chomskys, but we're going to have to pull a card. So the way this works, and this is where the drama and the excitement comes in, we're going to pull a card. If it's a picture, or the image of a pitcher, it's going to be off Hoyt Wilhelm. If it's the image of a batter, it's probably going to be a double and an RBI, game-winning hit by Jimmy Pearsall, the guy who rides the bench. He started off the season playing every game, but really did not give the Chomskys what they needed. But here he is with the opportunity to be a star. It all depends on the card that we pull. So what image will it be? The pitcher red or the batter green? Here goes. And it's the pitcher. Look at that, my friends. So it's going to be a wild pitch. Rolls back to the fence, to the backstop. And Julio Cruz goes on to second base. So Jimmy Pearsall still at bat, still with the opportunity. See what happens here. All right. Jimmy Pearsall, who's been relegated to the bench, he starts against lefties only now. He started the season as a full-time left fielder, but after struggling the first month of the season, has been relegated to the bench. So he's trying to reestablish his credibility as a viable, full-time starter for the Chomskys. And let's see what he does here. That is a 9 off of, it's going to be a hard ground ball. And a hard ground ball, I believe, allows him to move up. So we're going to say it's a runner advances. So we're going to say he gets one, hits one the opposite way, advances the runner. So good play by, good at bat. At least he advances the runner to third base. So now we got 2 outs, and the runner is on at third, the speedy Cruz. And here comes Rick Burleson. Hoyt Wilhelm checks the sign, 2 outs, bottom of the 10th. It's 2-2. It's Rick Burleson at the plate. Burleson today's 1 for 4. Ground out, double, and ground out. Here's the pitch, and that is an 11 off of Hoyt Wilhelm. An 11 off of Wilhelm is going to be a pass ball. Oh, my God. Ball game over. Look at that. Holy smokes. And I got to take a picture of this. So Burleson at the plate and a runner at third base. The ball game is over on a passed ball. Holy smokes. I'm not going to believe that. The Chomskys come out with a crazy victory. And what a game this was. This was a real fun game. So if you don't think you can get a real fun game out of a game like Time Travel, which is fairly straightforward and there's not a lot of, charts involved, it's just straightforward. But the cards really are what makes a difference here. And guys, more guys have to try out these games because they're a lot of fun. There's a lot of drama to them. You have so many different results off these cards. Like, look at the stack of cards. They don't come up all the time. They just come up in situations like this. 2 outs, runner on third. Burleson, is at the plate and with the winning run at third base. And what do you pull? You roll an 11. That is going to be off the pitcher card, right? Because the red is higher than the 5. And then you're going to look off the pitcher card, and what do you get? You get pass ball. Totally unexpected. It could have been a strikeout. It could have been anything. But no, what is it? This is the 1964 Hoyt Wilhelm card. So I'm learning about all these new players. But not only that, I'm excited because my team gets a victory. Hallelujah. Once in a blue moon. So a ball that gets by Howard, he should have had it. He messes up. And runner on third base. Again, we have to double check all this, right? We have to double check off that. It wasn't a gamble card. It was just straight up an 11 roll. And off the pitcher, it's a pass ball. So it's a ball that Austin Howard should have had. And he goes up to the pitcher and he says, "It's my bad." I don't think they spoke like that back in those days, but he apologized to the pitcher, and the pitcher pats him on the back, and that's baseball, right? It's a game of Augie Garrido. What did Augie Garrido say? It's a game of failure, and a coach's job is just to get the player's head up for the next day, and the player to believe in himself that the next day will be different and he can do better. So that's the ball game. Pass ball. Julio Cruz comes in to score. He gets mobbed by his teammates, and he had 3 stolen bases. He had a huge walk in that inning. Right? Oh no, he reached on an error, I believe. Right? Well, how did he get on base? Let me see real quick here before I put in the pass ball. Julio Cruz had been. He reached on an error by the shortstop Campaneris, who was a 3 shortstop would have made the play. And then Julio Cruz advances to second on a wild pitch, goes to third on a Jimmy Pearsall ground ball, and then he scores on a pass ball. How do you like that? Holy smokes. How do you like them apples? Ball game over. Line score. Final score is the Chomsky's 3, the Keystones 2. It was the Keystones 2 runs, 7 hits, 1 error, 12 left on base. The Chomsky's 3 runs, 6 hits, 2 errors, 6 left on base. And Chomsky's pick up a victory. It's going to be the win is going to go to Joe Beggs, who had an outstanding outing. He did blow the save, but he got the victory in the end. Hoyt Wilhelm's going to take the loss. And that's about it, guys. This is Time Travel Baseball. This is Cards and Dice TV with Tony Porter. Hope you enjoyed the presentation of the game. I hope this game leads you to maybe give a game like a little outlier game like Time Travel Baseball from I think it's Downey Games. I believe it's Downey Games. They also do Back to Basics. I believe. I think it's Downey Games, right? Let me see. I don't even know if. Let's see what it says up here if I have anything. I don't know. Don't know if it's Downey Games. I believe it's Downey Games, but I'm not totally sure. Let's see if it says something on the rules. Hold on a second. No, I don't see anything there. Look, the box and the writing and the style of everything looks a lot like Back to Basics. It's just got a different thing, a different drama, a sense of much more drama. So that was a great game. This is CP Cards and Dice. I'm glad you stopped by, and thanks to Bears Den and Phil Reynolds and the other guys that stopped by and that hung around. And that's about it. I will see you guys later with potential something else going on. I'm not totally sure. I have to play one more game in this series, this set for this weekend. Got to play 6 games a week, and I think the season has another month. That's it. So we played a full season. I'm not sure. I think over 100 games in 2 months, which is really cool. That way you can get a lot of seasons in. I like that sort of thing a little bit. It is a commitment because you got to find time to play those games. But I have it set up where I play. I'll play on Sunday. I'll play 3 games. That'll be one series, and then on Friday after work, because I do work on Friday, I'll play another series, and that'll be the 6 games I got to get in every week. And that's how you do this. So you can maybe join one of our leagues, and that would be fun to have you. Give this, give this game a chance. It's got a lot of fun stuff, a lot of twists and turns, and players perform according to their abilities. According to what they were rated, and so on, and that's about it. Signing out. Take care.